Hey everyone, welcome back to The Long Game. I'm Alex, and today we're rolling up our sleeves for a deep dive into the electric vehicle market for 2025. You know, folks keep asking, who's really pulling ahead? And who might be left in the dust?
I love that you framed it that way, Alex. It's almost like we're watching a race, but not everyone's using the same map or the same fuel. Investors are trying to figure out which companies can actually go the distance.
Totally. And it feels like every week there's new headlines, big promises, wild stock swings. But it's hard to separate hype from reality. Let's unpack what matters most for people putting real money on the line.
For sure, and maybe we'll even bust a few myths along the way. There's a lot of noise out there, but also some legit signals if you know where to look.
So, before we get into winners and losers, can we set the stage a bit? Just how big is the EV pie by 2025 and who's actually fighting for it?
Great question. Experts are projecting global sales could hit 17 million units in 2025, which is wild compared to just 5 million in 2021. But it's not just Tesla and BYD duking it out anymore. Now you've got Ford, Hyundai, VW, and a ton of hungry startups.
It's starting to feel like the early smartphone days, where new players seem to pop up overnight. But not all of them stick around. Investors have to wonder, who's got staying power? Let's tackle the elephant in the room, Tesla. People either think it's unstoppable or way overvalued. Where do you land?
Tesla's fascinating. It's got the brand, tech, and a die-hard fan base. But what's changing is the competitive pressure. Margins are shrinking as others catch up on batteries and software. Tesla can't just coast anymore.
And those price cuts lately, some folks see that as a warning sign. Is this them protecting market share, or are they trying to mask slowing demand?
A bit of both, honestly. Investors need to watch how their gross margins hold up into 2025. If they slip too much, that could spook the market.
Switching gears, what's your take on BYD and the Chinese contenders? Their growth numbers are jaw-dropping.
It's wild, right? BYD is selling in volume that rivals Tesla, and their domestic market is massive. Plus, they're pushing into Europe and Latin America. Investors used to overlook them, but that's changing fast.
And their vertical integration is a huge edge. They're making their own batteries, chips, even some raw materials. That seems like a major advantage with all the supply chain chaos lately.
Absolutely. It's a lesson for other automakers control your supply, and you control your destiny. Investors looking for stability are paying attention to that.
So what about the legacy giants? Ford, GM, Volkswagen. Some days it feels like they're all in. Other days you wonder if they're just hedging their bets.
I get that feeling too. VW is making a legit push, huge investments, new models. Ford's getting attention with the F-150 Lightning. But culture can be a killer. Turning a ship that big isn't quick or painless.
It's almost like they're in a race with themselves, fighting old habits as much as new competitors. For investors, how do you weigh that risk? Now, what about the startups? Rivian, Lucid, Fisker. There was so much hype, but the road's been bumpy.
That's the thing. Building cars is hard. These companies can have gorgeous tech and huge backlogs, but scaling up manufacturing is a different beast. Investors have learned that the hard way with delays and recalls.
Yeah, I remember Rivian's IPO hype, then all the growing pains. If you had to bet, will any of these break through by 2025 or get gobbled up?
A few might survive, but most will need deep pockets or partnerships. Investors should look for strong cash positions and clear paths to scale.
Speaking of scale, batteries are the real bottleneck, aren't they? Without enough cells, nobody's selling EVs no matter how shiny they look.
Exactly, and battery tech is evolving fast. We're seeing solid-state buzz, but for 2025, it's still mostly lithium-ion, so whoever secures supply wins. It's almost a resource war.
And with the price of lithium swinging all over the place, a bad contract could wipe out profit margins. It's not just about who makes the best car, it's who manages their supply lines best. Something I keep hearing is, the car is the new smartphone. How much do you buy that?
There's truth to it. Tesla's leading with over-the-air updates, but others are catching up. The real battle is for recurring revenue, subscriptions for features, data services, even app stores for cars. Investors should watch which companies actually pull that off.
It's a whole new revenue stream if done well, but seems risky too. Customers might get annoyed if they're nickel and dime for heated seats or navigation.
That's the tightrope offer, real value, or risk backlash. The winners will balance tech innovation with customer trust.
Let's talk policy for a sec. Governments seem to change their minds. Every election cycle, 1 year it's a gold rush, the next subsidies vanish.
It's a roller coaster, honestly. The US and Europe are pushing incentives, but China's dialing some back. Tariffs, trade disputes, they all make forecasting profits tricky. But companies with global reach can hedge their bets better.
So for investors, it's not just about tech or market share. You got to track the political winds too, or you might get blindsided. All right, if you're an investor tuning in, what numbers should you be watching as 2025 approaches?
Production growth is key. It proves a company can scale. But also, margin stability, cash reserves, and how much they spend on R&D. Oh, and watch for delivery guidance. Companies that consistently miss targets are flashing warning signs.
And I'd add, keep an eye on partnerships. A tiny startup with a big battery deal might be less risky than it looks at first glance.
Exactly. Sometimes the real winners aren't the loudest names, but the ones quietly building solid foundations.
So, big picture, when we look back at 2025, who's going to be the surprise winner and who should investors be wary of?
Honestly, I think BYD could shock people. Tesla won't disappear, but may lose some shine. Startups are a gamble. There could be a dark horse, but that's a high-stakes play.
It feels like a classic case of don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify, dig into the numbers, and don't chase hype.
Couldn't have said it better. In the EV world, fortunes flip fast. Thanks for having me, Alex. These conversations always help clear the fog.
Thanks so much for joining, and thanks to everyone for listening to The Long Game. If you like this episode, subscribe and tell us which EV company you're betting on for 2025.